Today I will be showing you this amazing strategy that gives a lot of winning signals. This strategy made 76% win rate within a short period of time. I recently discovered the strategy as it uses just 2 indicators, which makes it very easy and user-friendly for beginners. I will backtest it 200 times with an initial account size of $1,000, with a 1.5 risk-reward ratio. If you are just starting out trading, then you should definitely try this strategy, as it is easy to follow. Without wasting much of the time, let's jump right into it. Okay guys, so for today's video, we would be looking at the Ethereum, and this strategy works best on the 5 minutes time frame. So for this strategy, we would be using only 2 indicators as they would be determining how we trade the strategy. So for the first indicator, let us go ahead and add the super trend indicator. This first one right here, as this is a trend following indicator based on average true range. The calculation of its single line combines trend detection and volatility. It can be used to detect changes in trend direction and to position stops. Now for the second indicator for this strategy, go ahead and search for the turtle trade channels indicator. This one right here, as you can see that they are of 2 types, so we would be adding this actually to our chart. This indicator is a complete opposite to the buy low and sell high approach. The trend following system was taught to a group of average and normal individuals, and almost everyone turned into a profitable trader. So keep watching till the very end to fully understand how we make use of this strategy, because we combine both indicators in a different way that give the best point of entry for any trade. So now, let's make some adjustment on these indicators, as we won't be using them with its default settings. Now for the super trend indicator, go ahead and bring up the settings panel by double-clicking on the indicator. For the input, I want you to change the ATR length to 100 and also change the factor to 5. Head over to the style and untick this plot right here, and we are done with the settings. Go ahead and click on the OK button once you are done. Now for the turtle trade channels indicator, go ahead and double click on the indicator. I want you to untick this upper, lower, trend line and exit line. Also skip this next 4 settings and untick both long exit and short exit. And lastly, untick these background and we are good to go. And for the inputs, we won't be changing any of its settings as it is the perfect settings for this strategy. Go ahead and click OK to fully apply the settings we would be using. Now listen carefully, as the way we make use of this strategy is different from what you might be thinking, as we do not open trades at the long entry signals for a buy trade, or short entry signals for a sell trade. What we would be trying to achieve with this strategy is to find crucial points of entry and exit, and take profits immediately before the market changes its trend movement. And it is worthwhile to note that the super trend would be serving as our trend following indicator, as the red line shows that we are in a bearish wave, while the green line shows that we are in a bullish trend. Now let's quickly go over the rules for a valid buy and sell trade, as we would be showing possible errors to avoid, as they really help to avoid unnecessary losing trade. Now for a valid buy trade, we would first need the super trend colored in green as our first confirmation, showing that there are more buyers in the market than sellers. Now we would wait till we see short entry label from the TTC. When these 2 conditions are present, we would be placing a buy order at the peak of that candlestick, and we have to make sure that the super trend indicator remains in green as we get the short entry label from our TTC. And the reason for this is because we would want to be taking trades at the best possible point of entry. We are in a bullish trend already as it's being confirmed by the super trend, so any short entry label we see while the super trend is still in green shows price pullback in an ongoing bullish trend, as we are here for the trend's not reversal. Now remember I said at the peak of the candlestick when we get a short entry label, so we see here that we met all our conditions for buy entry, as we see that our super trend is colored in green, and we got a short entry position here on this triggered candlestick, so we would go ahead and place a buy order at the peak of this candlestick. So we noticed that our trade was triggered at this candlestick, as we do not jump right into trades, we only place orders and wait for them to be triggered. Now our stop loss would be the recent swing low, and our take profit level would be at 1.6 times the risk, and we can see that this was a successful trade. Please note that once you place a buy trade, and the trade was not triggered, we would go ahead and cancel the trade if and only when our super trend indicator changes to red. Exactly the opposite is true for a short trade. Now for a valid sell trade, we would first need the super trend colored in red as our first confirmation, showing that there are more sellers in the market than buyers. Now we would wait till we see long entry label from the TTC. When these 2 conditions are present, we would be placing a sell order at the bottom of that candlestick, and we have to make sure that the super trend indicator remains in red as we get the long entry label from our TTC. And the reason for this is because, as we said earlier, we would want to be taking trades at the best possible point of entry. We are in a bearish trend already, as it's being confirmed by the super trend. So any long entry level we see while the super trend is still in red shows price pullback in an ongoing bearish trend. So we are here for the trends not reversal. Now remember I said at the bottom of the candlestick, when we get a long entry level, so we see here that we met all our conditions for sell entry, as we see that our super trend is colored in red, and we got a long entry position here on this trigger candlestick. So we would go ahead and place a sell order at the bottom of this candlestick. So we noticed that our trade was triggered at this candlestick, as we do not jump right into trades, we only place orders and wait for them to be triggered. Now our stop loss would be the recent swing high, and our take profit level would be at 1.6 times the risk, and we can see that this was a successful trade. Please also note that once you place a sell trade, and the trade was not triggered, we would go ahead and cancel the trade, if and only when our super trend indicator changes to green. Now let's go over some few examples before we go ahead and backtest the strategy, to make you fully understand how the strategy works, and what to really avoid when trading in a live account. So we see here that this strategy saves us from taking any trades here, as this is a short bullish trend, as there were no short entry level before the market changed its trend direction, as shown by the super trend indicator. So here is a sell trade we would have taken. We see that we are already in a bearish trend as confirmed by our super trend. Then we got a long entry level from our TTC of this candlestick. We would go ahead and place a sell stop order at the bottom of this candlestick, and our trade was triggered at this candlestick. Notice how this technique helps us to avoid stop outs, as we do not quickly enter trades, but we wait for the right moments when our trade tends to be triggered. So we see here that as our trade was triggered at this point, we avoided being stopped out from this massive pullback from price action, as these are tricks the market played to hunt stop losses. So we could see the trade was a successful one, as our stop loss remains recent swing high, while our take profit level would be 1.6 times the risk. Let's go over one more example before we backtest the strategy. This is a valid buy trade we would have taken. So we see that we are in a bullish trend, as we would go ahead and place a buy trade at the peak of this candlestick. As the short entry label was present at this point, we noticed that our trade was triggered at this candlestick, so we would have made a nice run in profit with this trade as well. Okay traders, let us quickly backtest the strategy, with an initial account size of $1,000, and for this backtest, we would be using 200 trades as sample size, as we risk 1% of our capital on each trade. Let's dive into it. So we just finished the backtesting for this strategy, and we can see that the results are amazing. We had a win rate of 76% in 200 backtested trades, having won 152 trades and lost 48, which made us 188% return on investment. And I found those wonderful trade setups within 9 months, although commissions and spread fees would eat up some of the profit in real trading because it was not included in the backtest. So you definitely want to expect that number to be lower when trading live. The profit factor for this strategy is looking good, I guess, and we had 5 wins in a row against 3 losses in a row. So yeah, I'm definitely happy with these results. Okay traders, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, and also like this video as it really helps the channel. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.